Hi, I'm Phil Taylor Jones, and welcome to the Phil Taylor Jones Show. Very happy you could be with us once again. Well, today's focus in the aftermath of that horrific shooting that took place down in Chattanooga, Tennessee, in which 4 Marines, wonderful people in service to this country, lost their lives at the hands of a madman, illegal foreigner that shouldn't have been here. Old bastard once again jumps on his tom-toms and starts beating away in the light of gun control. But even before we get into that, let me just set something up. You might say, well, our military, why is it that they weren't armed when this guy, showed up in the 2 places that he committed these heinous murders? Well, you can thank old Bill Clinton for that, old Slick Willie himself, who de-armed our military on their own turf, so to speak, because of one of his stupid, idiot, second grader type political moves, which makes me look in utter shame and disgust upon these political muckety-mucks. Okay, so that's where that was. We also know that greed plays a major part in anything these political muckety-mucks do, because they're driven by lobbyists and power brokers who insist upon them doing these things in order to make more money for said power brokers and lobbyists to fill their pockets with. Yes, we have the right to bear arms. That's the Second Amendment. We need to protect our families, our businesses, our military. But those rights are being taken away, or at least they're in the process of wanting to take them away, to strip the citizens bare of that right. Why? Because they're so busy defending the First Amendment of freedom of speech and press. Why do you say that, Phil? I'll tell you why. The movie industry, the music industry, the gaming industry, whether it be regular game consoles or computer games, that generates billions of dollars each and every year. Films. First thing you see in a movie, give it 10 or 15 minutes in, and pow, 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 they're shooting. Computer games. The games consist of nothing but shooting. Even in music, guns play a major role. It's in every part of society, every part of what you hold dear, there's a gun in it. We have the right to bear arms, as I said before, to protect our families, our loved ones, our businesses. I don't see anywhere in the Constitution where you have the right to watch a movie, or why that should be so, mandatory that you be able to watch a movie, or that you be able to play a video game, or that you be able to listen to some CD, which is glorifying blowing somebody away or busting a cap in somebody's ass or whatever. I don't see that as being part of the Constitution, but yet it's allowed to go on systematically year after year after year after year, placing guns in a very romantic viewpoint. If an argument ensues, how do you solve it? You don't continue to solve it with words. You go and get a gun and blow the other fellow away. Guns, again, at the forefront, this time coupled with letting illegal foreigners into this country who are raised from adolescence with guns in their hands. Said what I said before, my brother and I watching a movie. I think it was about blood diamonds or something. It had something to do with Africa and I guess the Boko Haram or whatever. And there were little children, 5, 6, 7 years old, picking up automatic guns and shooting. They were teaching them at this tender young age, of about 7 or 8, how to shoot, target practice, with using bean bags, not cotton, but rice bags. And they put a little drawing of a head on. They're just shooting. And hey, if you practice something long enough, you get good at it. So you've got these little bitty kids that are trained in this type of terrorism, warfare, that can shoot just as good as a 40, 50-year-old person. And then you let them over here because of this stupid open door policy with all of that gunplay knowledge. And it's no wonder that this guy, when he first came over here, I'm referring to this bastard that shot up the 4 Marines and injured 3 other people. He came over here in 1996. So he was just a tiny little thing when he came over here. But remember, from almost infancy, they put a gun in their hand, they teach him how to shoot. Okay, he gets to be 24 years old, he goes in, he blows 4 innocent people away and injures 3 others. Guns. You want to control that. You want to take our right to bear arms, to protect ourselves and our families, but yet you don't want to do a damn thing about the school, so to speak, that is on every day, 24/7, teaching young children, adolescents, teenagers, young adults, middle-aged adults, old folks, how to use guns. No matter the situation, you pick up a gun. That solves your problem. Why is old bastard and these governmental buckety-mucks, why are they vacillating on this subject? Because they don't want to piss off the movie makers. They don't want to piss off the game makers. They don't want to piss off the music moguls that produce all of this gun glorifying crapola that is force-fed into our children, into our young people, into people in general every bloody day. So stop playing games, oh bastard. You want to take away our Second Amendment rights because you don't want to offend anybody and you don't want to stop the massive money-making machine that's connected with the First Amendment. Your wife, Michelle, has vowed that she wants to rid every American household of a firearm before she ceases to be First Lady or first whatever it is. To you I say, give you the raspberry. You haven't the right to take away anybody's firearm, you or your dried up husband, because every time you pitiful excuses for human beings set foot outside the White House, there's a slew of Secret Service with what? They're not carrying slingshots. They're carrying guns to protect your scroungy butts. So how dare you sit there and want to take that same right away from regular citizens who need to protect their families? People like dried up Bill Clinton. Come on. If it hadn't been for you, the military would still have their firearms. Now, we know that these police are in the news every day, killing folks, especially the black ones. Like the one that's in the news now, this lady, very nice looking young lady. She was part of the Black Lives Matter movement, and she spoke out against police brutality and the likes. She was driving down the street, coming home from some activity or event. She was pulled over because she allegedly missignaled while doing a lane change. For that, she gets yanked out of the car, slammed to the ground, saying that, she's having problems. Why are you bashing my head on the ground? I can't hear. They obviously slammed her down so hard they impaired her hearing. They took her to jail, and the next day the lady is dead. She can't wake up, she's dead. And then these cops are now saying, oh, well, she committed suicide. She strangled herself to death. Her family doesn't believe it, her friends don't believe it, and guess what? Phil Taylor Jones doesn't believe it either, and neither does my production staff, my huge production staff, consisting of my brother. We don't believe that bull crap. Okay, so Mr. Clinton, if you're gonna take guns away from military personnel, why don't you take the guns away from these crooked cops who go around killing people because they like it? And once again, to those good officers out there, that are towing the line every day, really, genuinely, honestly protecting us, good on you, mates. But for those rogue bastards out there that want to kill us, why don't you take their guns away? No, they get to keep theirs, so they can kill you. Folks, it's not about gun control. Because of it, as I alluded to, excuse me, let me just take a quick sip here. Throat's kind of dry.
Same through.
As I alluded to earlier on in another show, the crooks are the ones who are not, well, some of them may go into a gun shop, you know, and sort of try to buck the odds, but the vast majority of them are not going to go in a gun shop to buy a gun. They're going to go underground, they're going to go to the black market, they're going to go to the crooked nose guy down the street, they're going to go on the internet and try to procure a firearm that way. So these gun control laws are for honest people like you and I, who play by the rules and want to go in there and do the thing the right way. So that's where your gun control falls apart. Why don't you go after the people that are making guns so romantic in the eyes of these people with diminished capacity or an urge to kill because they belong to some hate group, they belong to some terrorist group, or they're just a plain friggin' nut that just wants to go and do, heinous things? No, you don't do that because you don't want to cut the money flow. Stop being so damn greedy. And stop trying to hide behind the First Amendment when you want to keep your money, your pockets full of money. I guess gun sales don't generate enough money for you, so that's why you're not behind it, Mr. O'Bastard. Come on, let's call it what it is. You're a greedy bunch of idiots who will do anything to keep your pockets stuffed. And you'll do it by way of helping to get rid of American citizens. No, I don't own a gun. I never have. But just because I don't doesn't mean that I want that right taken away from me. If I had a gun, you would not get it. As old Chuck Heston used to say, from my cold, dead hands would you get my gun. And you have to pry it out from there. Americans have the right to protect themselves. You haven't the right to stuff your pockets with money. Dig it hard, oh bastard. Thanks again for watching the Phil Taylor Jones Show. We do appreciate your viewing, we appreciate your comments, and we want you to try to stay safe and happy, and we'll see you again next time right here on the show. Bye-bye.